How are you guys doing? It is Sunday, September 27th, 2020. I here in this quarantine. And for this episode, The Elite, I'm going to do yet another Elite Chronicle where I basically bring up stories from my past and present just to give you a little bit of context as to how sports plays a big role in my life and just how it all comes together and how it forms my unique perspective for how I see the sports world. My last segment I did, it was about my gig with Duke Athletics, where I mainly helped set up and take down for a lot of the athletic events. And most of my responsibilities this year include just labeling COVID tests just to make sure that process goes as smoothly as possible. And of course, I'll try to do whatever I can because of course, just me being there, I know it helps out a lot. But the other half of my Duke experience and how it's involved with sports and my involvement with terms of extracurricular, it can be attributed to Duke Student Broadcasting. And a good amount of my Duke Student Broadcasting videos can be found in my YouTube or at least they can be found in the playlist that I have. So basically how that got started, where I was able to get in touch with someone that I knew. It was actually the person, his older brother was the person that interviewed me for Duke. We grew up in the same part of LA, and actually his family hosted the send-off party for Duke students that are going to Los Angeles. So of course I knew him pretty well, and he was involved in the club. He told me that or at least I was told that he filmed a lot of the basketball games on the floor when I was a freshman, and he was a junior. He's 2 grades ahead of me. So of course, at the end of freshman year, beginning of sophomore year, I tried to reach out to them and see if there was anything that I could do to get involved. And because there weren't that many people involved, it was very easy for someone that wasn't as involved as I was, just to get on the floor and get a chance to learn just how a lot of the stuff works. Freshman year, I wasn't as involved. I was more of a Cameron crazy. I was just in the stands, just watching, just painting my face. And it was really fun. I even did walk-up line for the Duke UNC game the last time they did it. So that's kind of what that was before. So jumping into my sophomore year, every year Duke has this Countdown to Craziness event where they introduce the basketball team in front of everyone, and everyone gets really, really excited. And it's a very big part of the year. And so my friend, his name is Josh. Josh was filming the game, and I caught him because of course I was there with my friends and my brothers. So I also did like some interview thing beforehand. I thought it was pretty funny, pretty wacky, where we just asked Duke students how do you spell Krzyzewski, or just like Duke trivia. It was really, really fun. That was the first time I really kind of did anything. So I carried that, and then as it went on to the season, they needed people to start filming the games that weren't Virginia, UNC, NC State. So of course they called on me, and I was very available because I lived right across the street from Kville. So it would be very easy for me to come in, just walk into the office, put the little memory chips in the camera, walk it out, film an entire game worth of highlights. Sometimes I would film just the other half. I would split games sometimes with my sophomore roommate Luke. For one game, I'd be sitting in press row where you could kind of see it as the camera pans over, and the other half I'd be under the basket that Duke shoots on in the second half, if that makes any sense. And then additionally, because I wasn't allowed to wear Duke clothing when I went, even though I was a Duke student, because I wasn't paid by Duke to film. So I started wearing my ramen noodle sweatshirt so that my family back home could see at least my brightly colored ramen sweatshirt in basically a sea of blue. I always thought it was kind of clever, and it started really picking up, and people started watching it and enjoying it. And as sophomore year kind of progressed, along with my Duke athletics job, where I was getting I was just in Cameron all the time, just anyway, for a lot of the basketball games sophomore year. And I'd say a lot of them. I'd say over half of their home games, I filmed them with my friend, with my roommate Luke. It was just a very, very good time. I even got a chance to film half of the Duke UNC game my sophomore year as well. So I mean, it all really came together. And also, I also tried to do the first episode of a show with my roommate sophomore year to try to see if we can get a show going as well with Duke Student Broadcasting. We called it Devil's Advocate, and I also brought in a third friend, Rachel, to try to see if she could be our moderator in the middle, just to see if she'd bring up the questions. And I'm not gonna lie, it was very fun, and it was just a lot of trouble getting everything together. So we could only bring everything together for one episode, but I mean that was also a big part of it. So all that combined. And also, fun fact, when I was wearing I feel like I was wearing my ramen sweatshirt one day. I was told I couldn't wear it anymore, but I wore it again junior year. So I mean that was an experience. And continuing on, that was my involvement sophomore year. That's when I really started getting involved and started really filming on the floor. And I thought my sophomore year was pretty cool because a lot of celebrities would come in and they would even make comments about my sweatshirt. I met David Robinson because he's Justin Robinson's dad. I met Steve Nash because he went to visit RJ Barrett one day. And of course, with Duke Student Broadcasting and my ramen sweatshirt, of course, like the basketball players liked it. Like that was also kind of a thing as well. I remember Gunna, like the Atlanta rapper, came to one of the games. He saw my sweatshirt. Dwayne Wade, Barack Obama, just to name a few. Just these are all the people that came to Duke games, and I was on the floor. And just me being there, I was able to kind of just reach out and say what's up to a lot of very interesting people, especially the Duke alums that came in and walked through. Because with the RJ Barrett, Zion Williamson, Cam Reddish season, that was a very big season for Duke. I also filmed a couple of football games as well. But those are the main games that I filmed because I was supposed to capture highlights, and I was supposed to put them together and then make them all one. I'd put them together and make them just make them one video. So I mean, if you look on Duke Student Broadcasting for some of the games, I filmed a good amount of those games, and I usually someone else would be in the studio to upload them. But that was my involvement sophomore year. Junior year, I was abroad for a semester, so I wasn't able to be involved. So when I got back, my friend Nate, who was running it, he was running everything when I got back. He was able to give me the green light to go back and film most of the basketball games because of course I missed football season, but I didn't really miss anything for basketball season. I was back just in time for ACC play. I got a majority of the games. I didn't get the UNC game this year, but I mean I was still there for a lot of it, for the early morning countdown, just for a lot of the games this past season. It was really cool. Just once again, it was just getting back in my element after my whole semester studying abroad. And it kind of leads into now because with the quarantine, I wasn't, with football not allowing that many people in, and with Duke Student Broadcasting, just with everything being kind of difficult and everything getting back together, it's been kind of hard to really film. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to film basketball this year, to be honest, but I'm still gonna attribute a good amount of my knowledge and what I know and my understanding of just sports journalism through my involvement with Duke Student Broadcasting, because I think what it's done for me, I think it's done a lot for me, and Duke Student Broadcasting is just one of those gigs where you get to learn so much about the field as you kind of get into it and kind of get your hands into it. You kind of get to understand how little things work. That coupled on to like what I've learned through Duke Athletics has helped shape. Those are two big parts of what helped shape the way I view sports, and just shape a lot of the kind of shit that have also shaped my Duke experience as well. And I want to thank Josh Goodbye for helping me get involved in all this. Of course, Shivani helped me as well. And just my friends, just Luke, Rachel, Nate, everyone that's really kind of helped come together to help make this experience an amazing experience for me. And I really hope all is well. Thank you once again for listening to all 9 minutes of this piece. It is Sunday, September 27th, 2020 out here in this quarantine. Once again, I'm James Sims. Thank you for hearing my piece, and I love my time with Duke Student Broadcasting. Peace out.